Let me tell you a little something about Sycamore Street. Nice place, on paper. Tree-lined sidewalks, swing sets in every backyard, and the kind of neighbors who wave even when they secretly hate your lawn gnomes. But tucked between house number 214 and 216, was the mailbox. Not a mailbox. The mailbox. Old thing stood there like it'd seen too much. Rusted, crooked, paint peeling like dead skin on a sunburn. No matter how many times someone tried to replace it, paint it, bury it in the name of HOA regulations, it always came back. Right where it was. Right where it wanted to be. I used to walk by it every morning with my coffee and mutter, "That damn thing's looking at me." Folks thought I was just being dramatic. Until it started sending letters, to people who were already dead. Now, let me tell you something. There are two things you don't mess with in a quiet American suburb: a man's lawn, and his mailbox. And on Sycamore Street, where the grass was always trimmed and the gossip moved faster than Google Fiber, the mailbox at number 237 didn't belong. It wasn't just old, it was wrong. Rusted like blood, leaned just a bit too far forward, and every now and then, folks swore they saw it twitch. Now I ain't a man who scares easy. I've been through wars, divorces, and an HOA meeting where Karen from Lot 5 brought charts. But that mailbox gave me the kind of chill that starts in your bones and ends in your teeth. It started with the mail, of course. Letters with no stamps. No addresses. Just thick envelopes with wax seals and writing that curled like smoke. And every one of 'em was addressed to the same name, the resident of Sycamore Street. That might sound harmless. But Sycamore's got 48 houses. One of them's abandoned. The mailbox stood in front of that one. And then came the whispers. Kids dared each other to touch it. Dogs refused to pee near it. One Amazon driver got so spooked, he left a whole van's worth of packages on the curb and drove off mut. You know me, I shoulda just minded my business. But you can't just mind your business when your neighbor Earl, yes, bunker building, squirrel watching, alien fearing that Earl starts wearing tinfoil gloves and posting up with binoculars across the street. You feel it, he whispered. It's humming. Low frequency. Government stuff. Nah, I said. It's just rusty. He shook his head. That mailbox is a conduit. Something's trying to come through. I laughed. I shouldn't have. 'Cause the next morning, the Jenkins boy was gone. Now, when I say the Jenkins boy was gone, I don't mean he ran away, or skipped town. I mean poof. One day he was out front playin' basketball barefoot like a feral squirrel, the next day nothin' left but a half-dribbled ball and the smell of scorched air. You ever smell scorched air? It's like lightning and burned toast had a baby. The neighborhood went full panic mode. Cops showed up, drones flew overhead, and some fella in a hazmat suit clipped a sample off the mailbox like it was radioactive peanut brittle. But none of that mattered. The next morning, that same rusted mailbox stood there like it hadn't just eaten a kid off the sidewalk. That's when folks really started noticing the letters. Each morning, a single envelope. Crimson seal. Always cold to the touch. Always addressed to the resident of Sycamore Street. Earl was the first one dumb enough to open one. Now Earl's a man who once tried to sue his blender for being a spy, but when he opened that letter, he didn't blink, didn't speak, he just sat there, eyes locked wide, like his brain had left the building. I slapped him. I screamed. I even turned off the Wi-Fi. Nothing. Just drooling and whispering something under his breath, "Mail must go through. Mail must go through." I burned that letter right there in the sink, and I swear to you, the flames screamed. Not crackled. Screamed. But it was already too late. Because the next morning, the mailman came. And this wasn't no ordinary mailman. This dude was 7 feet tall if he was an inch, wearing a uniform that looked like it'd been stitched together from dead leaves and shadows. His mailbag didn't hang, it twitched. And when he moved, it was like film skipping smooth, then jagged, then smooth again. I was watching from. He walked straight past every mailbox on the block. Until he reached that one. He didn't open it. He just stood there. Listening. Then he took a letter from his bag, black envelope this time, and slid it in like a final breath. That night, Mrs. Cartwright's rose garden wilted. All 52 bushes. Gone gray. Dead like they'd been aged 100 years in one sunset. And by morning she was gone too. Just a robe on the front lawn and a faint smell of lavender and ozone. Now listen here, I ain't sayin' I believe in haunted mailboxes, spectral postal carriers, or portals to whatever stamp-lickin' hell this thing crawled out of. But I am sayin' Earl finally snapped out of his trance, grabbed his shovel, and whispered the 3 scariest words I ever heard him say, "It's coming through." Now listen here. When I told folks, "It's coming through the mailbox," they laughed me out of the neighborhood watch meeting. Laughed so hard one guy nearly choked on his sugar-free banana bread. They even threw a damn block party next to that cursed mailbox. Tied balloons to it. Took selfies. Dared each other to lick the flag like it was a carnival ride. That night power went out. The whole of Sycamore Street black as pitch. And that mailbox, that sucker, started to glow. Not like your grandma's nightlight either, no, I'm talking radioactive 7-Up green, humming like it swallowed a beehive. The mail slot opened. Not like a flap. More like a jaw. A door. A gate. Then something stepped out. It wasn't a.m.